Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to my channel. I am Ashmi Arora and today we will be doing chapter 3 Atoms and Molecules class 9 Science part 3 Atoms Existence. So if you like my video, please subscribe my channel and share my video. So let's start. So today we will be starting how do atoms exist. You know that atoms do not exist independently. They need their partners to combine. They cannot exist independently. But some of the noble gases like helium, neon, argon, krypton, they can exist independently. They don't want to combine with someone else. They want to stay in a free state, right? So let's start. Atoms do not able to exist independently. They need something else to combine with them. They need a partner. And usually the atoms exist in the form of two ways. Either they form of molecules or in the form of ions. Either atoms exist in the form of either in the form of molecules or in the form of ions. So when these atoms and ions aggregate, combines to so that we get a large variety or the different forms of matter. You know that the noble gases, because their octet is complete. Octet rule is that rule in which they want to achieve the 8 electrons in their outermost shell and they don't want to combine with someone else. Their octet is complete, they are quite stable and they don't want to combine with another atoms. So these noble gases like helium, neon, argon, krypton, they want to remain independent in a free state. But except these noble gases, the other atoms combines by two ways, either forms the molecules or forms the ions. Now let us discuss one by one what do you mean by the term molecules. See, molecules is nothing but when the two elements like hydrogen and hydrogen, when they combine with one another by forming a strong chemical bond. What is this chemical bond? Chemical bond is nothing by means of a strong attractive force. By means of strong attractive force, they both held together, then it forms a molecule. Then it forms a molecule which is of same type. Which is of same type, means same type of element. When hydrogen and hydrogen combine with one another, then it forms a strong chemical bond, and chemical bond is nothing by means of a strong attractive force. Next is, it may be possible that a different element like hydrogen and oxygen and hydrogen, this forms a strong chemical bond with one another and form a water, which is another different type of elements combined together. Then it forms a molecule, right? So we can say that when same type of elements combine, then we can say it as a molecule of elements. And when the different elements combine by the strong attractive force, then we call it as a molecule of compound. Molecule of compound. When the same type of elements forms a strong attractive force, then it is known as it is a one molecule of element. On the other hand, if different elements are attracted together by a strong chemical bond, then we call it as a molecule of a compound. Means different elements combined together. So let's see the definition of molecule. Molecule is a type of a group, so that is why we term introduced as a group when the two or more atoms combine together to form a strong chemical bond, and chemical bond is nothing but a strong attractive force, right? It may be possible that this attraction is between same element or this attraction may be of different elements combined together, then it forms a molecule. So let us discuss one by one molecule of elements as well as the molecule of compound. Now we discuss the molecule of elements. Molecule of element is nothing when the same type of atoms combine together to form a molecule of element. Means hydrogen and hydrogen form a strong attractive force. Then this hydrogen and hydrogen is a type of same type of element. Then we known as the molecule of element. Similarly Cl2, similarly oxygen molecule. The next definition, which is quite important, what do you mean by the term atomicity? Atomicity is nothing but the total number of atoms which is present in a molecule. Like if I say what is the atomicity of this hydrogen molecule, then 2 hydrogen atom is present in this, so atomicity is 2. What atomicity of N2? 2. Atomicity of O2, since 2 oxygen atom is present in this molecule, so number of atom makes the atomicity. So here the atomicity is 2. What about F2? Same, the atomicity is 2. So the total number of atoms which is present in any molecule forms its atomicity. Now you tell me, what is the atomicity of H2SO4? Can you tell me the atomicity of H2SO4 in the comment box? Yes? Okay, let's discuss. Here the 2 hydrogen atom, 1 sulfur and 4 oxygen. So here the atomicity is 7. But if I say, you tell me, if I say what is the atomicity of hydrogen, then you will say the atomicity is 2. And if I say, you tell me the atomicity of only oxygen, then you will say the atomicity is 4. Then here you will not write 7 because I asked individually about the oxygen. So atomicity is 4 since the 4 atoms of oxygen is present in this molecule. So the atomicity is the number of atoms. Similarly, if I say what is the atomicity of P4, then the 4 atoms of phosphorus is present, so atomicity is 4. Here in your NCERT a list of atomicity is given. Like in the case of argon and helium, their atomicity is monoatomic. Why it is monoatomic? Because they don't want to combine with another atom. They want as such. Their octet is complete. They live in a free state. They don't want to combine with some other molecule. So they remain it as a monoatomic. While in the case of oxygen, when the 2 oxygen atom is present, then we call it as a diatomic. Hydrogen, diatomic. Nitrogen, diatomic. Chlorine, diatomic. In the case of phosphorus, it exists as tetraatomic because atomicity is 4. Then 4 represents tetraatomic. Sulfur exists as S8. So atomicity is polyatomic. It exists as S8. So the atomicity is polyatomic. So atomicity is a very simple term. The total number of atoms depicts the atomicity. Now we will discuss molecule of compound. In the previous chapters also we discussed the definition of compound. Let's revise once again. The atoms, the compounds is nothing but when the different elements, here the term different elements, join together in a definite ratio by its mass. Like in the case of water, the hydrogen and oxygen combines in the ratio of 1:8. Similarly, ammonia, NH3, combines in the ratio of 14:3. So they combine in a definite ratio by its mass. This we already know that with the help of their masses they combine in a definite ratio. right? The next important definition is what do you mean and how you calculate the molecular mass. Molecular mass, how you will calculate molecular mass. Molecular mass is nothing but the sum of all the masses of atoms which is present in a molecule. Means the atomic mass of hydrogen plus the atomic mass of oxygen plus again the atomic mass of hydrogen. So sum of all the atoms which is present in a molecule of a compound, then we can calculate the molecular mass. Now let us take the example of water. 2 hydrogen is present plus 1 oxygen. So 2 plus 16. So molecular mass comes out to be 18. Now in the comment box you calculate the molecular mass of HCl and tell me the molecular mass how you will calculate. So molecular mass is nothing but the sum total of atomic masses of all the atoms which is present in any molecule. And what is the molecular compound? Where the different atoms combine together in a definite ratio by its mass in a definite proportion. Next is ions. As we know that atoms exist in two ways, either in the form of molecules or in the form of ions, right? So let us discuss detail about ions. Ions, what do you mean by the terms ions? When any atoms contains the charge on them, either positive or negative. When the atoms contains the charge, either positive or negative on them, then we call it as a ions. Atoms carrying a charged particles. Any charged particles which is present on the atom, then it is known as ions. Ions can be of two types, that is the negative charged ion is known as anion and the positive charged ion is known as cation. This positive, right, you can also learn it as a cat has paws. Cat has paws means cat has nails, sharp nails. So you will also learn it as a cation as paws, right? So cat has paws means cation is positive. Similarly, you can learn it as a anion as negative. How you will learn it as a, you can also learn it as a any. Any, an anion, ne negative, any, right? So cation represents positive charge and anion represents any. Any means negative charge. An represents anion or Ne represents here. An represents anion and Ne represents negative. So you can learn it as a any, right? So now let us discuss the detail about the what do you mean by the term cations and how the cations are formed. See, this is the nucleus, this is the spherical atom, and inside that atom there is a nucleus. You all know that. The nucleus contains the protons as well as neutrons, while the outermost part is surrounded by the different shells on which the different electrons are revolving around this nucleus. And nucleus consists of protons which is positively charged and neutrons is negatively charged. See what happened. These electrons revolve around the nucleus in the same way as the planets are revolving around the sun. In the similar manner, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus, right? So if I take one of the elements, say it as a sodium, the atomic number is 11. I write the electronic configuration 281. So every element in this world wants to achieve the stability. wants to achieve stability, and how the sodium achieves stability if it follows the octet rule. If it becomes a 8 at the outermost shell, then the sodium becomes stable. So how it can achieve the 8 electrons to become a stable? When the sodium loses this 1 electron. See, in the sodium element, it has 11 positive as well as 11 negative. But if the sodium lose this 1 electron to become a stable, then it will become 10 electron while the 11 proton remain as it is. This is the main funda. When the 11 protons remain inside the nucleus as it is, while on the other hand it will lose 1 electron to become a stable, so that it can achieve a octet rule, and sodium wants to become a stable. And how sodium becomes a stable? When it lose 1 electron, so that it gets 8 electrons in their outermost shell and becomes a stable. So when it lose a 1 electron, there is a 10 electrons. So there is one extra 1 positive charge, so that is why it becomes sodium positive, and this sodium positive is known as cations. Usually this positive charge comes on metals, and metals, how you can identify the metals? The key component how you will identify the metals in which 1, 2 or 3 valence electrons are present on their outermost shell. On outermost shell, the 1, 2 or 3 electrons are present, then you can identify it as a metal. As you can see in the picture, in cations, inside the nucleus positive charge is more, while outside the electrons is comparatively less. So that is why it contains a net negative charge and becomes a more protons. That is why it is known as cations. And how the cations are formed? When it will lose 1 electron, then the positive charge comes on the sodium or any metal. So cations are usually metals, right? Now let us discuss about the anions. How the anions are formed. If I'll take chlorine, then its atomic number is 17. How I can write the electronic configuration? It is 2, 2, 8 and 7. So if I say every element in this word wants to achieve stability, how the chlorine achieves the stability? How it can follow the octet rule? When it will gain 1 electron, so that in the outermost shell it becomes 8 electrons. If it gains 1 electron, then in this here it becomes 8, right? In the chlorine 17 protons are present as well as 17 electrons are present. 17 protons and 17 electrons. But if it gains 1 electron, so here it becomes 17 proton remain as it is. 17 protons which is present inside the nucleus remain as it is. But to achieve the octet rule to become a stable, it will gain 1 more electron and becomes a stable. This 7 becomes 8. If it gains one more electron, then it becomes 18 electron. So here 1 plus electron. Electrons are more as compared to protons. Electrons are more, 18 electrons and 17 protons. So electrons are more as compared to protons, so that is why the anions have a negative charge, because it will gain 1 electron and becomes a chlorine becomes a negative charge. So if you see in this picture, the more electrons are more. Here the protons are more, and in case of anions, electrons are more. Inside the nucleus, protons remain as it is, while in the outermost electrons, the electrons are more as compared to protons, so the net charge is negative. And negative depicts non-metals. Negative depicts non-metals in which the valence electrons in their last outermost shell having a 5, 6, 7 electrons in their valence shell, then it shows it is a non-metal, right? So in this concept, I tell you that the metals had 1, 2 and 3, while the non-metals had 5, 6, 7 electrons in their valence shell. Then what about 4? Fourth number. See, fourth number depicts that there is a nor loss nor gain. It will do the sharing part. It will do the sharing of electrons, because it is very difficult to lose the electron, 4 electrons, and to gain the 4 electrons. That is why the 4 valence electrons do the sharing part, right? So the next important definition is valency. What do you mean by the term valency? Valency means the combining capacity, how the electrons gets loose, and the total number of electrons lose as well as the total number of electrons gain, that becomes its valency. Like in this case, sodium, what is the valency of sodium? +1. What is the valency of chlorine? -1. So valency is how many electrons can be gained or by lose by any specific element, that becomes its valency. Next is the ionic compound. What do you mean by the term ionic compound? See, the compound which is formed by means of ions. Like if I see the case of sodium, then sodium is 281, chlorine is 287. Sodium is a very rich guy. He said, I don't want my 1 electron. I want to lose my 1 electron so that I becomes a stable and complete the octet rule. On the other hand, chlorine is just like a beggar, and chlorine said, please give me this 1 electron so that I become 8. I become 8 here and complete my octet. So in this way, the compound which is formed by this sharing of ions is known as the ionic compound. Sodium chloride, NaCl. How the NaCl is formed? By the positive charge. So when the sodium lose 1 electron, it becomes a 1 positive. While the chlorine, when gains 1 electron, it becomes a chlorine negative. So there is a force of attraction between positive and negative. So such compound is known as NaCl, which is formed by the strong force of attraction due to their presence of charged ions. Such compound is known as ionic compound. The next important definition is, what do you mean by the term formula unit? Formula unit is derived basically from term formal charge. When the formal charge is present, then it is known as the formula unit mass. And how you will calculate the formula unit mass? If I say calculate the formula unit mass of NaCl, so what will you do? You do just the sum of atomic masses of sodium and sum of atomic masses of chlorine, then you will get a formula unit mass. So there is not much difference between molecular mass and the formula unit mass. In both the cases, you will sum the atomic masses of all the atoms which is present in a compound, but in the case of ions, the term is given formula unit mass, and in case of molecule, the term is given molecular mass. But the way to calculate is same to how to calculate the sum of all the atomic masses of atoms. Like in the case of NaCl, 23 plus 35 plus 5, then you will get a formula unit mass of NaCl, right? The next important definition is, what do you mean by the term polyatomic ions? See, ions can be of simple ions and complex, or you can say it as a polyatomic ions. In case of simple ions like Cl negative, H negative, this is known as the simple ions. But when I say polyatomic ions, then the polyatomic means it represents a OH negative. Means when the two atoms having a same charge, then it is known as the polyatomic ions. A group of atoms actually carrying a charge, a group of atom. But in the case of simple ions, only the single atom are carrying a charge. But the group of atoms when carrying a charge, then it is known as polyatomic ion. Like you can say it as a carbonate, CO3 2 negative, and 2 negative shows the valency of carbonate, that the carbonate valency gains 2 electrons. So it is the valency of carbonate. Similarly, sulfide, SO3 2 negative. So these all are the polyatomic ions in which the group of the atoms having a charge, then you will say it as a polyatomic ions. Next important term is how you calculate the chemical formula of different elements. Chemical formula is nothing but is a kind of a pictorial representation or the symbolic representation of its composition. There is a certain rules to write down the chemical formula of various compounds. The first rules to calculate the chemical formula, you have to calculate, you must know the valencies of any ions, and the valency must be balanced. If you know the valencies, then you can easily write the chemical formula of any compound. Second important, when a compound consists of a metal, like we have written earlier NaCl. So here Na represents metal. Metal is always positive charge, and a second part is a non-metal which is always negative. So any compound depicts, the first part depicts the metal and the second part depicts the non-metal part. But in the case of polyatomic ions, the ions has to be enclosed in a bracket before writing the number to indicate the ratio. You have to write if you are writing OH negative, then whenever you write the chemical formula for the polyatomic ion, then you will have to enclosed in a bracket and writing the number to indicate its ratio, and then you will write at the subscript means at the base of this polyatomic you will write the valencies. So in this way you will write the chemical formula. To write any chemical formula of any compound, the concept of valencies should be clear, and valency is nothing but the combining capacity, what the element loses electrons or gain electrons, then it is known as its valency. So it is better if rather than this we'll take a certain examples how we will write the chemical formulas. First we'll take the example of magnesium and chlorine. So simply write magnesium and chlorine. Write down the valency. This chemical formula method is also known as crisscross method. Crisscross method, where we will multiply by the crisscross way. Like the valency of magnesium is +2. So here you will write only 2 and just avoid the positive charge. Means you will not write the positive or negative, only write 2 here. Only write 2 here. And similarly chlorine, only write 1. Then it becomes Mg1Cl2. So we will not show the one part and we will simply write the MgCl2. If I'll take the example of polyatomic ions, then ammonia NH4 valency is +1. You need not to write here, mention the positive charge which shows the valency, only write 1. SO4 is a polyatomic ion, valency is 2. So you have to enclose in the brackets and then write the ammonium sulfate. So in this way you will write the chemical formula. Let us take the few examples to write the chemical formula. before understanding the chemical formula, you have to understand the concept of valency, because without valency you can't write the chemical formula. There is a certain elements like whenever there is a positive charge, then it shows a cations, and cations are always metals. Whenever it shows the negative, then it shows the anions, and anions are always shows the non-metals. But in the case of polyatomic ions, we will write the valency in this way, like OH negative, sulfate, like in this way, right? So there is a certain elements in which the valency can be more than once, like in the case of copper. Copper has valency 1 plus 1, as well as it has a valency of plus 2. On the other hand, iron has valency plus 3, as well as iron has valency plus 2 as well as plus 3. So iron has 2 valencies, copper has 2 valencies. So whenever there is a more than one valency, then what we will do, we write in a Roman language and just in a enclosed in a bracket. Like in the case of copper, they written in a Roman language and enclosed in a brackets. More than one valency, it is a case of more than one valency, right? So let us start to understand the concept of chemical formula. Let us discuss about the formula of hydrogen sulfide. One more thing, whenever we will write this, first part always shows the metal and the second part always show the non-metals. And for the case of non-metals, we will write the suffix as a "ide." Rather than simply write sulfur, we will write is as a sulfide. Cut it this last part and add the "ide." If you see in the whole table, it will show a part of non-metals and depicts and ends with "ide." So write down this hydrogen and sulfur. So here the valency of sulfide is -2. We will not write here is minus. Just avoid that part. Simply write 2 and hydrogen is 1. Do the crisscross part. So we will get H2S. Right? Similarly, if we write the carbon tetrachloride, so carbon is the metal part and chloride is the non-metal part. So C and Cl, carbon is C and Cl is chloride. So what is the valency of carbon is 4, and what is the valency of chloride, that is the -1. So we will not write here as a minus or plus, simply write the valency without any charge. So crisscross again, it will become CCl4. Take the another example of sodium carbonate. Here it is not given "ide", here it is given 8, ATE. So this shows that this is a case of polyatomic ion. It is a case of polyatomic ion because here it is not given "ide", here it is given 8. Sodium carbonate. So let us take sodium and carbonate is CO3. CO3 valency is 2 and sodium valency is +1. So simply crisscross. So it will become Na2CO3. If you bracket and 1. So 1 you can avoid this. So otherwise I have to put the bracket for the case of polyatomic ions. Okay? Let's take another example. Formula of aluminum chloride, AlCl. So here it is given "ide". So it is talking about the non-metals. So what is the valency of aluminium? It is +3. So I will not write here plus. And chlorine is -1. I will not write here minus. Just crisscross the method and you will get AlCl3. Next is the formula of aluminium oxide, where "ide" is given. It shows that it is a non-metal. Right? Aluminium valency is +3 and oxide valency is 2, minus 2. I will not write minus. Crisscross the method and you will get Al2O3. Right? Let us take some more examples. Calcium phosphate. Calcium and phosphate. Here you will write PO4. Here the valency is minus 3. Calcium valency is plus 2. So just crisscross this method and you will get Ca3PO4 whole twice. You will have to write here in the enclosed brackets, otherwise it becomes 42. Next is barium hydroxide. Barium hydroxide is also a polyatomic ion. So just here you can avoid the bracket. Barium is plus 2, hydroxide is minus 1. Crisscross this method, you will get BaOH whole twice. Formula of ammonium carbonate. 8 is given, polyatomic ions. Ammonium NH4, it is also one of the polyatomic. This is also the polyatomic. So carbonate you will write is as a CO3. The valency is minus 2. For the case of ammonium, valency is plus 1. So just crisscross this method, you will get NH4 2CO3. I will not enclose the carbonate as it is the 1 is present. Next important is the copper. Copper has valency 2 as well as copper has valency 2 as well as copper has valency 1. But here it is given that you have to consider the valency 2. So copper is Cu and chloride. So chloride is valency 1 and for the case of copper it is already given that you have to consider the valency 2. So crisscross this method, CuCl2. Last is the calcium oxide. Ide is given for the case of non-metals, CaO. Oxide valency is 2. For the case of calcium, the valency is also 2. So just crisscross this method, you will get Ca2O2. If we divide this with a whole number of 2, then you get CaO. So in this way, you will write the chemical formula of different compound if you know the valency. And it is very easy to learn the valency of certain compounds which is given in your NCERT. Let us see the names of the following. K2SO4. It is potassium. So SO4 is a polyatomic group. So we will write here sulfate. Na2S, sodium sulfide. As it is a ide group represents the negative part which is a non-metals. For the non-metals we will put ide. MgO is represents the magnesium oxide. You will not write oxygen, you will write oxide. Al2SO4, so aluminium sulfate, as this is the again polyatomic ion. Next is the KNO3, potassium nitrate. For the polyatomic ion we will put 8. NH4Cl, it is ammonium chloride, as Cl represents the negative part, non-metal. For the non-metal we will put ide. So thank you so much. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and share my video.